Hi, it's Mark and Leslie. Welcome back and thanks for watching.
Or should I say, we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to go over our AC/DC collection. So yeah, we would like to show all of our different vinyl variations. We have all like the Australian versus the US presses, just to get to see the different covers. And yeah, thought it'd be a little change of pace from our usual, post-punk, goth, new wave stuff. So yeah, let's have a little fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, starting things off. High Voltage. This is the original Australian. I think it's like this is a second press. Voila. Front and back, completely different to what most people would know as the High Voltage cover here in the US or anywhere else in Europe or whatever.
Okay, so did this ever get a US release?
No, this is like, it's total. Yeah, the track listing is totally unique here as well. There's a couple songs, like She's Got Balls and Little Lover. She's got balls. All right. I said balls. So those two songs, they were released on the international versions of Highway to Hell, not Highway to Hell, High Voltage. Every version, like US, any European, just not the Oz version. And then there's a couple songs like Stick Around and Love Song. They were only released on this Oz version, like never released anywhere else on any other album. And then the other 4 songs on this album were later released in the US only in like 1984, way past their sell date. They were on the Jailbreak EP.
Oh,
so
okay.
they released that in the US only just for this Jailbreak EP once, once Back in Black came out, and they were huge everywhere. So they released those songs later. So it's kind of a hodgepodge, but this album's the only way to get this like original track listing Australian version.
And that was released on, that was produced by George Young and Harry Vanda, right?
That's true. The Easy Beats.
Yep.
Behind us right there, yeah. Oh yeah, and just so you can see, original. Yeah, that's how you know it's the originals. It's the, well, it's the same label both sides. The gold and blue lettering, I guess you call it. And I think the first press, they'll have a kangaroo on there somewhere. So these first couples are not the first press, but they are the second press of everything. So it's still pretty cool to have that. All right, next up on the agenda, TNT. And this album really has no other kind of contemporary release. There's no other album in any country called TNT. This is only Australian. This has a cool gatefold sleeve as well. Check out the back. Track listing on this one. Basically the first 5, this kind of ties into this high voltage again. So 2 songs off the Australian High Voltage made it to that. Now 7 songs off this version, 7 out of 9. 9 songs on this one. 7 of them made it to that High Voltage, the international. It's like the first 5 in a row. It follows the same track listing, then it kind of gets a little bit different towards the end. The song Rocker, that ended up on the Dirty Deeds album.
And that's the US Dirty Deeds.
And the international one too,
okay.
Yeah. Because we'll get to the Australian. That's a whole
Yeah.
nother kettle of fish. But, is that a kettle of fish? You guys have kettle of fish over in Australia? All right. So basically, yeah, show this one again. This album, again, most people will know. So basically that High Voltage is a kind of a hodgepodge collection of the Australian High Voltage and this TNT. But again, this one's pretty cool because it's only Australian released. Got the blue and gold label, blue and yellow, whatever you want to call it. I think it's second press again, yeah. We got all second presses on these first couple.
And I think I remember growing up and we would see they'd play on the TV this video. I think they were in the streets of Melbourne. And the back of a pickup truck playing
the band?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I might have seen that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Long Way to the Top. Yeah, first song
and
off
they
here.
would play it all the time, sort of like in between TV shows on ABC. So yeah, you would see that video.
I think that does sound familiar to me, actually. All right, now we start getting into the really heavy hitters here. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. This is the Australian press. And then totally different track listing too. This is a US copy. So this actually came out in 1981. It got released finally in the US. But that was also the same cover, same track listing as the international release.
So this was all around the world then.
All around the world in 76,
got this
yeah.
one.
But Australia got this one. And this one's got R.I.P., Rock and Peace, and Jailbreak, which were only on here in Australia, but they were not on the international
I
release,
can't
which is
believe
weird.
you
I
did
know.
get Jailbreak, and you don't like Jailbreak.
I don't mind it. It's just because I knew this version of the album when I was 11 years old. I didn't know Jailbreak. Yeah, it wasn't on the album I had.
Jailbreak was such a good. It's
there's
such
the
a good
back of the
song.
cover. Yeah, so this had those couple songs, and they replaced it again. I think we mentioned earlier, Rocker is on there instead of one of those, and Love at First Feel is on the U.S. And the international release, and Love at First Feel was not on any Australian version of any record, not on this one, which I prefer that song, to be honest, but...
Yeah, Love at First Feel is a good song.
That was a single in Australia, Love at First Feel.
Oh, that was a
So that's how you
standalone?
got, that was a standalone single, so you got different... I know, it's weird, because this one I came to much later. I like this cover better than our US cover, or the international cover, but I do like that track listing better, because that's what I grew up with.
And,
I'm
going to say this cover does look more Australian. It's got that more pub,
I can see why that wasn't...
pub rock sort of feel to it, yeah. Well, this one looks, I feel like, looks more American, and...
It's international.
Yeah.
It was international first. It wasn't American until 81. So
okay.
But yeah, I agree. I could see, yeah.
It's got that old.
I'm just so used to it. I
motel.
love the black. I love the black. It's blacking the eyes out and everything. And this one is a second press for sure. We got this at Permanent Records. I think like a while ago now, 5-6 years or so, a good while ago. But we talked about Permanent in a couple of videos ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of my favorite albums by them for sure. But again, I think I like the U.S. I don't know. But
that's what you were used to.
That's what I'm used to. All right, next up on the list. Let There Be Rock. This is the Australian version, and a couple of videos ago in our Grail video.
Oh, in our Grail video, yeah.
So many people watched, maybe like 5. We got this at Permanent Records, and I forgot to show the gatefold of that.
Oh, that's
cool. Really cool. I know, it's kind of like, oh, I blew that one.
And that full back cover.
And then the back too, yeah. And then here is the...
show the full back.
Show the full... I don't know if it really...
I don't know, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, but yeah. And I forget who I forget who. It's not any of the band members playing that on with fingers on that guitar cover. I forget who it is, but maybe we'll put it in the notes or something.
And again, this one's produced by George Young and Harry Vander from the Easy Beats.
They were doing all the...
And I forgot to mention earlier, George Young is the elder young brother. So, you have Malcolm and Angus, and George was the older brother.
Yeah, so he wasn't young.
He was not young.
Oh man, okay.
Dear. And so yeah, this is which one's this? This is
the international release, but it's same cover as the US. But this happens to be a UK pressing. And fun fact, this is the first appearance of the classic AC/DC logo right there. And this is the UK press. There's a song called Crapsody in Blue. Very eloquent. And that's on the international one, but for some reason they replaced that on the US release with Problem Child, which is weird because that was on Dirty Deeds. But again, the US Dirty Deeds in 81, it's very confusing.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why in the US we like to mess with track listings from other countries. I don't know why we do that. But this one, at least, all the other presses follow this same track listing for this, yeah. But there you go. The font.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
I used to have a T-shirt with that. Like, think like one of those baseball jerseys with just
did?
AC/DC.
AC/DC?
It was an iron-on thing. I had to wait. I bought the iron-on first, and then we had to go and get the shirt for it. And
where'd you get that from? From a comic book or from?
No idea. I think
a magazine.
I was so young. I honestly don't remember where I got it. All right. Next up is Powerage. I'm just throwing this in there. Nothing exciting about this one. This is the standard release, and it was same LP sleeve. Probably the first time, I think, actually, the same LP sleeve in all countries and same track listing. But if you notice, AC/DC.
No, the font's gone back.
The font went back.
It's changed again.
I don't know why. I don't know why. After a while, they realized how good it was. But they went back to a different font, completely different here. No stencil on this one like the early ones, but yeah. So that's the same. This is a U.S. press, and now 1, 2, 3. The heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my favorite. This is a lot of people's probably favorite AC/DC album. The cooler cover here with all the flames and the shirt she has I like her shirt better than mine, but they're both pretty cool. But yeah, this is the Australian press. This is a first press. We got this a couple years back now at a place called Gimme Gimme in Highland Park, and we paid a very fair price. It's worth over 5 times what we paid for it. Now this record is crazy how much it skyrocketed in just the last 5 years. Look it up on Discogs, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this is such a nice copy. I mean, I couldn't believe it. He posted it up on his, I think on his Instagram.
Yes.
And we were like shopping at Rockaway or something.
And we called him up. To
yeah,
see
we
if he
saw him
still
like,
had
he posted it like a week ago. And we're like, do you still have that Highway to Hell? He's like, yeah, I still got it on the wall. And we had him hold it for it. We ran in and grabbed it. And I couldn't believe the price and the condition again. Back sleeve is the same for every country. So yeah, for some reason you guys got this cooler sleeve, much cooler sleeve. I love that. Look at that.
That is a
like,
great sleeve.
That's the best. But again, this is the US copy. That's the version I'm used to. The other sleeve. But yeah, so once we saw, I always wanted one of these when I knew they existed. I've been looking sort of casually looking for this for years, not kind of knowing it was already way expensive and probably we're never going to buy it. And I don't buy records that are over $100 online anyway. But so I figured we're never going to find it, right? Never going to buy it. But yeah, anyway, my favorite album of theirs for sure. And this cover, I'm so happy to own this one. I can show, yeah, it is on the
Again, the Albert Productions.
The Albert Productions, the gold and blue, yellow and blue, whatever you want to call it. On this one, there's no kangaroo, but that's just how they didn't have, the kangaroo was gone from the label at this point. And then speaking of Highway to Hell, here are just a couple of our 7 inches we have. These, I think, the only 2 7 inches we have from AC/DC, to be honest. This one's got a
Oh, that's pretty cool.
little gatefold sleeve. What are these for? Yeah. Girls Got Rhythm.
Oh, you got to show Angus the full.
Oh, yeah, the full Angus. That's true.
Yeah.
So this one's Girls Got Rhythm.
And this one's Touch Too Much and Live Wire and Shot Down in Flames. They were live B-sides.
Oh yeah, and this one's got If You Want Blood, you've got it on the A side as well with Girls Got Rhythm, and 2 live B-sides, LA Ain't a Bad Place to Be and Rock and Roll Damnation. I do like that gatefold, yeah. So yeah, that's the only ones we have on 7 inch. But if we ever find anything else from the earlier stuff, we would buy those too. I'd love to get like a Love It First Feel 7 inch.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, a little different for us. We're not typically into the hard rock type stuff. We like a couple bands here and there. But
and then with AC/DC, it's really just the Bon Scott years that we really like it.
I think we mentioned that in the other video too.
Yeah.
We don't even have Back in Black. Not that we're like, oh, we're so cool, but it just doesn't appeal. I don't know. And Back in Black's fine. It's my sister had it when growing up, so I do know the album. I enjoyed it
at one point.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like it, but it's,
yeah.
I mean, Bon Scott.
Bon Scott is,
he's the one. That's the AC/DC you want to hear.
But you know, unfortunately, when I go home, it's sort of finding AC/DC stuff in Australia and Australian record stores.
Oh yeah, since you've been here for
next to none
over 20 years, every time I'm like, when you go out try to grab them, and I'm like, nope, can't find them.
Can't find them. Yeah,
we had to find them in America.
Yeah, they're so hard to find in Oz.
All right, so that's our AC/DC collection.
That was really cool. That was really interesting to see how the covers changed and the font changed over time.
I know. I never really paid much attention.
And how they just mess with the track listing when it got out of Australia. That was weird.
That's bizarre.
But that was pretty cool. And sort of, yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching. Or I should say, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time.
Happy digging.